Hello everyone. So for those of you who have watched pretty much any of my other videos, it really shouldn't surprise you to hear that, for competitive players, especially in a game mode like 5CP, or even Koth for that matter, where you might be going from attacking to defending very quickly, and you want to be prepared for a wide range of game states in which you can kind of approach anything. In a setting like this, versatility and especially consistency is pretty much the primary selling point, right? So that being said, something that I find quite interesting is how people find utility in weapons, and not just using weapons for their prowess in combat, but actually exploring the full utility of these weapons. And I kind of wanted to focus in on specifically the Stickybomb launcher and where you find utility in it outside of just dealing damage to players. So this is actually kind of inspired by a recommendation from Dingo, who mentioned air-detting sticks as potentially a good topic some time ago, which I agree with. So for starters, I think stickies are one of the most interesting weapons in the entire game. And even in like first-person shooters in general, there are very few other weapons that are quite as unique and versatile as the Stickybomb launcher. I absolutely love this thing, right? As you can probably guess. But it's not just good in combat. And the fact that you get to manually decide when to det, you find a ton of utility in the weapon outside of combat. So for starters, even during combat, the fact that stickies are just as much a zoning tool as they are an active damage dealer is really, really helpful. And a lot of the time, you'll find yourself shooting sticks without even necessarily expecting them to ever do any damage, just to prevent a player from peeking or just finding utility in them, right? In some examples, so like if you're expecting another team to maybe want to push, but it's kind of iffy, and you just want to stop that from ever happening, then literally just a few stickies on the door is often enough to stop the push from ever happening. Just disincentivize them from doing anything, because they're like, it's trapped up, like it's not really worth it anymore, right? And just being able to zone people out with sticks and control area of the map is really, really useful, because keep in mind as well that TF2 is a game about space. So yeah. Now another main use for sticks you are actually detting them for, and that's to clear other sticks. So if you need to, knock a trap away or a carpet away so you can peek a door, you can do that with stickies. Now, of course, if you want to keep traps up as well, this is actually something that the Iron Bomber is good at, and something that I definitely missed doing a lot ever since using the lock and load more often. But that's another option. It's knocking those sticks. Now, when it comes to knocking sticks, one of the best use cases for this is by knocking sticks on doorways before your team even gets through. So a lot of the time, when it comes to clearing a trap on a door, this is usually a risky endeavor for the classes involved. So either the scout walks through the door that they want to clear traps for and then spots the traps. Now, in some cases, depending on how the trap is set, you might be able to see it just poking out a little bit before actually fully committing through. But a lot of the time, this is something that scouts put themselves in direct danger for, just hoping that the other demo can't det in time. And it doesn't always work out, and sometimes pushes are just ruined because a player dies trying to clear traps. Similar for Soldier, there are a lot of times, and soldiers will prefer to actually jump through another door to clear traps on the door that the combo's trying to get through. So think, excuse me, in the case of your team trying to push out of Snakewater last and trying to go bats, well, a soldier might jump from bridge towards bats to clear that. Oh, I think I'm changing my loadout, so the volume might get increased again. I don't think it did. So yeah, that's another... oh, I did put the Iron Bomber on. That's another thing you can do. But again, like what's preventing that primary door that the soldier is jumping through from being trapped? Not really much. So when it comes to clearing traps, basically every class runs the risk of getting dead on in the process of clearing them, except for demo, because you can air dead a sticky in the door frame and pretty much knock any trap that might be above or on the side of it. And this is a really, really valuable tool to have, especially like in those cases where you don't have anything else to do. And that happens pretty often. A lot of the time in transition, you don't really have much to do. So you may as well just use a stick to try and knock any traps that might be there. And that could save a teammate's life. So just in transition in general, it's a good habit as a demo to be potentially trying to knock traps from doors. And, you know, just mess with the other demo. And there are a lot of specific cases where this is really valuable. Like in top left on Snakewater, for instance. And it's crazy how there's 2 Snakewater examples, and I just happen to pull up a Snakewater demo. So top left, for instance, if you're trying to pressure top left lobby, it's a very common plan for a team to double sack top left, try and maybe get a pick on the demo, or just take space there with which you can spam down the gun, do all sorts of things after that. And pretty much any time my team is doing that, I'm already in lobby. I have nothing to do. I'm not just going to I'm not just going to peek the door just so I eat a ton of damage, because my medic needs to focus on buffing my flank who's about to sack so they're as healthy as possible for the sack. So what do? Well, I may as well just be air-detting sticks in that doorway to knock that trap, make it way less likely that my soldier or scout just their sack is ruined by a trap, right? And again, that's quite valuable. You don't have anything better to do, so you may as well be trying to knock those traps. And in general, like even if we aren't planning to sack top left, if I know a demo's trapping it, if I see some sticks go up there, yeah, I'm gonna knock them down, because why not? I mean, it's just valuable. It's valuable to disrupt the enemy team's plans, and that's one primary way to do it. Yeah, what are some other examples I can think of? I mean, just in general, walking through a door. Snakewater Lower is another good example. Something that will be trapped and is very, very difficult to clear those traps without getting past them first. Pretty much every time we're walking lower, you know, on the walk over there, I'm air-detting sticks in that doorway. Because, again, I just want to knock them around, make them less potent, and potentially help my team. So air-detting sticks to clear enemy sticks is a really, really valuable asset of stickies, and something that's pretty unique to the class. Not really any other class has a means of reliably clearing sticks like that. Sure, Soldier can be splashing rockets to try and clear traps. So in the case of, again, Snakewater Lower, like entering lower lobby, that's a commonly trapped door and a trap that you have to really, really look out for because it can be quite potent. In the case of that, sure, a soldier can splash against the wall, but if it's trapped on the opposite wall that's not really splashable, then that's not really an option. So, again, believe it or not, basically every time that my team wants to enter lower lobby, you better believe that while I'm on point, I'm shooting an air stick to det and knock those traps. So this is something that's really important, just for not only reducing the effectiveness of the other demo's traps, but also just making your pushes, making your transitions, and just making everything a lot easier for your team by making it way less likely that your team just gets killed to traps on a door trying to clear it, right? And it's something that I don't see too often, and maybe that's why invite second place Demo Man Dingo suggested this topic, which actually is giving it the perfect reference / clickbait title, I think. But anyway, stickies are a utility weapon. There's a lot of examples of weapons being used for their utility, but I wanted to focus in on this one. And yeah, air-detting sticks to clear traps is a really important and really underspoken asset that Demo has. Because a lot of the time in a transition, in a push or something like that, as a demo, you don't really have anything to do until you get through the door. So you may as well use that time to try and disrupt the defense as best as you can. And pretty much the best you can do is knocking traps around and making it less potent. So yeah, closing thoughts. Demos the class that, you know, knocks sticks so that their team can survive, whereas Soldier is the class that knocks sticks into their team so that their medics drop. And yeah, hope you guys learned something about that and hope you enjoyed. So I will see you all next time.